Hello, everybody. My name is Beefman101, and welcome to Buried. Now, Buried is an interactive story, meaning the choices you make in it have an effect on the story itself. So it's kind of like those books where, like you may have had them in your childhood, where it says "open the blue door" or "open the green door," and then it tells you to go to different pages of the book, and that's how the story in the book is told. It's like that game, but what I've seen of this is a very good story. Now it is mostly text based, and it's broken into 5 chapters. He says so. That's 5 episodes of me playing this, and it was only a couple dollars, and it looked really cool. So I kind of bought it like on an impulse buy and land, and then when I looked into more detail, I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good game. So yeah, these may be longer let's plays though because of how big the stories are cuz supposedly these chapters are like half an hour and they're mostly reading, so it's kind of like a calm game to do, which I'm excited about. So yeah, let's begin. Ooh, spooky. I open my eyes and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful. Except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened and my head. My god, my head hurts. And the ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. I sit there. I sit up. I notice that my hard hat had been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find another member of my crew, or of the crew. They could be in danger. Search for the hard hat, or forget the hat, search for the crew. Now, this is what I mean by it's a choose your own story game, because this is the choice. You can go search for your hard hat, and maybe a crew member dies as you're searching for your hat. Or maybe you just forget your hat, maybe the hat has a deeper meaning later on in the game, but instead you search for the crew. Now, knowing me, I'm gonna search for the crew before I look for an inanimate object. So I'm gonna forget the hat and search for the crew. I decide my hat can wait until I figured out what's going on. I get up and take a look around at the logging site. We work at a logging site then. I smell something burning and don't hear any engines running. Wait, something isn't right. Was that a bulldozer, or was it the bulldozer? Maybe a damn thing overheated for the last time. Maybe the engine finally blew. What a mess. Well, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. The only way to find out, I guess. I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see. Oh god, there's gonna be some dead body, I betcha. Oh no, that looks bad. Sorry, my mouse is in the way. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on the truck for the day is overturned, the trailer bent, and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everybody? My head is still killing me, and this ringing in my ears, I can't hear anything. Not birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run over a quick mental checklist to make sure everything in my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old, and the year is 2017. Wow, this was made this year then, huh? I fell a small logging company, and we've been logging in the strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief, but what makes me fearful because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what's happening. What's happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Look at the debris. Look at the truck. Well, there's really no point in looking at a truck, is there? If we know nobody's in there that would have gotten out, but somebody may have been hurt and in the debris. So I'm gonna look at the debris to see if I can see anybody. There are bits of debris everywhere. There are fragments of the 5-gallon bucket I keep our workers' rags in, a loose chainsaw, an overturned gas canister. There had been an explosion. All of the fuel on the start had been. All the fuel on the. Please stop, Instagram. All of the fuel on the site would have started a fire. But there's nothing. No charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area where Dennis has been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down about 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox was open and indicated that he'd been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one's here. Where the hell is everybody? Everyone. I could try and make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters, the reception is crap out here. Now, if I call somebody, and my battery dies mid-sentence, that would be horrible. I'm gonna say it's best not to do it now, but to wait until later on. Until it's again useful. So I'm gonna yell out. Hey guys, where is everybody? Tony, Dennis, Frank, Joe? But the names fall flat along the wreckage. I get nothing back other than scarring away, a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods, down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them. But with my truck overturned and over on this site, it looks like I'll be walking. My god, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that underneath the bulldozer? Oh my god, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The bulldozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Might not be safe to get close, but at this time, I can't just leave him there. I'm gonna look. If there's a chance I can save somebody, that's a good thing. Hey, I yell. Are you okay? You still alive? I skip over the stray logs and wrecked equipment to get closer. Seeing the dozer teeter, makes me think maybe I should have grabbed my hat. Damn it. I see a bit more of the leg. The jeans are soaked in blood. I recognize the work boots. It's clearly Tony. His leg is bent at an impossible angle, crushed nearly flat. The closer I get, the more apparent it comes. Tony didn't survive. Oh god. Okay, now from a survival standpoint, if I leave the body alone and go about my business, and Tony has the keys to some truck in his pocket, and I don't get those keys, that would also be bad. So I'm gonna pull the body out. I really hope this is right. I try to pull him out, but he's just not bulging. That's when I see the blood coating under the ground beneath him. It's thick and fresh, so dark on the dirt that it looks black. As I'm tugging, I hear something crunch. I somehow manage to pull him out. His legs are absolutely crushed, and his stomach looks deflated. Blood is covering everything from the navel down. His face was turned to the right, where he was crushed. It looks like a broken plastic mask, sweeping with blood and bits of shattered skull. My god, I can't believe this. I have to turn away. That's when I hear a deafening creaking noise, and I am bashed in the head from behind as the bulldozer shifts lower to the ground. I roll clear and end up on my back, my eyes shut tight from the grimacing. My head is exploding with pain, and I feel a stream of warm blood. Why wasn't I wearing a hard hat? That's all I can think about over and over, but it doesn't make the pain any less. After writhing, I need to get better at reading. For a few minutes, I finally pull myself up off the ground. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. Oh my god. This isn't looking so good. There was most definitely a bomb that went off. Hello, logs. As I walk through the stacks of logs from last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears is terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds, and it sounds like it's coming from very far away. I can't help but wonder, is it in my ears or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell. Like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it, I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing, and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I've never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground motionless about 30 feet away. Yell out, walk up. I guess it doesn't matter, I can just walk up to him. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis, hey, man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler, and he has a tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disorientated and a little anxious. Though I am glad to see him, the fear on his unusually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on, he asks. Don't know, and the crew is missing. An explosion, I think. I'm gonna say an explosion. An explosion, Dennis says. Yeah, I believe that. Why do you say that? I ask. Did you see something? He doesn't respond. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods, as if he's just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned. The dozers too, I say, wiping my forehead. You okay? I asked him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he comes from a few times looking like he's been in a bar fight the night before, but I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids. While they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure if I want to rattle him with the news of Tony's death right now. Not before we know what's going on, but he has the right to know. Now, knowing me, if a family member died or one of my friends' moms died and I didn't know about it, or let's say one of my friends' friends died and they didn't know about it, that would kind of be like not the best thing to do. I'm gonna tell him, even though some people might think that I shouldn't, but Tony is dead. Oh god. You were up front with Dennis about Tony. Dennis' eyes fixated on me, startled. He was crushed under a dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a minute, like he's trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and the bottom of his lip quivers. Shit, he said. I can tell he's fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, as if we're trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger, he says. It was like the flare of a white light. It came right up out of the ground like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe. It was some sort of equipment, or... This was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. What did it look like? Well, he just explained that it looked like a white flare. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, shit. I didn't know there was a scrolling feature. Where did it go? It just shot up into the sky until it was out of sight. That when? I'm not sure, he answers. But I had finished about 10 trees for the day, and it was about the top one. That's when it happened. But you were almost done with 10 trees, I asked. You were almost done with 10 trees, I asked? Yeah, he said, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when the light blew up. Why, you don't believe me? I believe you. I think you're exaggerating. No, I'm not believe him. He's just been hurt. I don't want to like criticize him and lose the only guy who has information right now. You believe Dennis's story. He saw what he saw. I think to myself, he has no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. And if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It wasn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch. That makes me worry. Are you in a lot of pain? How'd you get that injury? I'm gonna ask him if he's got pain, because that's what I do. I have no other explanation. I've been better. I don't know how much longer I can stay on my feet, he says. What happened, I asked. I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I noticed the strange ringing noises still filling the air. Hey, I said something. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question. He just nods. I thought it was just me, he said. He looks at his source and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's been looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. We'll be okay, it's probably nothing. It's freaking me out. Yeah. You shouldn't freak out the guy that's got a big red splotch coming from his work shirt. You give him support. We'll be okay. It's probably nothing. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Oh my God, I know this word. What is it? Oh my God. Trying to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell on him today. Not yet. Hopefully I still have some battery left. I pull out my cell and call Frank. Happy I didn't make the call to Dennis earlier. He rings, but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off, beside the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up. We walk up to the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank, but we find nothing. Not a single trace. Instead, I notice something really odd. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground, right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth, wide. But it's only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted. No shovels, no diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw the light come from, the ground. He muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, the ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But what's that ringing sound? Could it be a clue to where the rest of the crew went? No, let's check out that sound, or... Agreed, let's get away from here. Usually when there's a big scary noise coming from it, it's like an earthquake alert. You don't really want to head towards the danger, so I'm gonna say let's get out of here. Find some help. You decided to avoid sound. With that, we turn and start walking to the west, in the direction that I'm pretty certain leads to the road. Okay, continue. Oh, that sends shivers down my spine. It's sort of embarrassing. I have been a logger for nearly 15 years, but I'm finding it easy to get lost in these woods. The trees are so thick in places, but the moonlight doesn't even reach the ground. It's easy to get turned around. My only hope is that I can find the overgrown dirt road that will lead us back to the highway. You sure we headed the right way? Dennis asks. Pretty sure, I say. I turn to him, and that's when I see he's clearly in pain. At this moment, that we came upon another one of these smooth holes. This one is even stranger, because a nearby tree also has a chunk out of it. The arc goes smoothly through the ground and then up through the trunk, like a cartoon wrecking ball blasted through both of them. What the hell are these things? Dennis whispers to himself. He steps down into the hole, his boots creating imperfections in their shape, like footprints on the sand dune. Step down into it, walk around the perimeter. I don't know, well, if he's down there, I'm gonna follow him. I take a step down with Dennis to the hole, if that's what you could call it. As I stoop down to examine it, I'm amazed about how smooth it is. Even the rocks that were underneath the earth have been sheared to fit the spherical shape. It's then that I feel the ground beneath us start to sag. By the time I'm aware what's happening, the ground is giving away and I'm falling. I cry out in surprise and can barely hear Dennis letting a curse as we go down into the earth. Oh god, so it just collapsed on him like quicksand. Quicksands, that's what I'm thinking of. Over in a cave. The fall isn't a long one, but when I hit something a few seconds later, it hurts like hell. The wind goes rushing at me when I hit, and I feel a sharp pain flies through me. What the hell, I say? My breath is back. Beside me, Dennis is slowly rolling over to get to his feet. I look up and see the hole in the ground where we fall through. It looks about to be 10 feet over our heads. It's completely dark, but there's a small flicker of light further into the cave ahead. All of us, and a solid wall of rock behind us. Looks like the only way out are further down the cave, or through the way we fell in. Dennis might be able to boost me up there, but with his injury, I'm not sure how stable he is. He might drop me. Yeah, if it takes him lifting me up to get me out, there's no way I can reach in and get Dennis back out. So I don't know. We're gonna head into the cave. See what's up. I decide we better not risk hurting ourselves trying to climb out. As we turn to head into the cave, I take a closer look at the light further ahead and realize it's artificial. As we both start heading towards it instinctively. As we step into the light, panic gently gnaws at me because I'm seeing what makes absolutely no sense. It's a longer cave, or hole. It's a long, sparsely lit corridor. Oh god. Oh god, that is not nice. That is not cool. It's a massive corridor. In fact, it seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I turn to my left and see there's a door, which appears to lead upwards to the outside, but it's locked tight. I push as hard as I can, but no luck. Dennis, help me with this, I say. He comes over and we both try to kick the door open, but it doesn't budge. For some reason, someone doesn't want people getting out of here. Looks like we're heading down the hall. Looks like we're headed down the hallway. Sorry, my headphones are hurting my head. Okay, well, if it goes on forever, and you tiptoe quietly with a guy who's got a big hole in his stomach, he's probably gonna die on that trip. so we're gonna have to walk quickly. See if you can keep up. I'm eager to figure out what's going on here. Our footsteps echo loudly in the dust and the dirt. Dennis leans on me for support. Our footsteps echo loudly in the dust and the dirt. Dennis leans on me for support. If there's anyone here, it's not like we're gonna try and be quiet and stealthy, with the intention of sneaking up on them. If anybody is listening, they definitely know we're here by now. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I can see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But by looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs? I ask. He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort not to fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by looking at him, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. Oh God, what did I put these guys into? Continue. Oh God. This looks old. How old is this place? As I head down the stairs, I notice they look aged. That damn ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into a cellar of a haunted house. The light's becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he's leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. We gotta give him a break. The guy's injured, for God's sake. Let's take a break, I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis lets out a sigh. Thanks. I don't feel too great, boss. As we both squat down on the stair, my mind seems to lock in the unknown fate of the rest of the crew. Frank is married. I must have won his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never get to hear him belting out a classic rock tune during lunch break. Joe, well, I didn't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he's been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find them, and still get to hear Frank singing in the deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "Alright, let's keep going." We both stand up, leaning against each other. I might have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child, as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what I feel like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're close to the ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall, and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel, with a lot of labels and lights. A small embossed print above the panel says, Level 1, Entrance Gate, Transport Sector, and there's a button with no label. Push the button, inspect the panel. Well, from my day, when you push the big button, you die. Or, I think that's what Johnny Test does. Inspect the panel. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind. Each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. All those appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking red light. Next to it, the only power light in this whole thing, Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open, where Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. Let's go, he says. I want to find out what the hell this place is. As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. Are you sure you're healthy enough to keep going, I ask. Doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now. You seem scared. Something I've never seen before. Angry? Yes. Upset? Yes. But Dennis is never scared. What did you see? What's so dangerous? What did you see? I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left a radio on, crackling, but I don't have any radios on the site. It was, I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving. I give him a doubtful look as he casts his eye to the ground, frustrated. I know how it sounds, he says, but I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgotten about the ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps, and I can now see where we are. Makes no sense, yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. End of chapter 1. Oops. What happens now? Respect the dead. You and 64% of players pulled Tony's body out from under the bulldozer. Secrets. You and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis that you believed his story. Curiosity. You and 25% of players ran away from the ringing noise. Well, damn. Damn. This is a really, really good story. I'm gonna do the full playthrough of this. This is interesting. Um, it's cool at the end how they get real life data. You and 64% of players, and all that. It's cool to see how others think. We're with most of the people on all of these, except for curiosity. Like 3/4 of the people went to the ringing sound, or went close to the ringing sound. But what I find is funny is even though we ran away from the ringing sound, we're now heading towards the ringing sound because we fell in that hole. Yeah, I wonder what this place is. Is it like a secret government facility underground, somebody's bunker, like a billionaire's bunker, something huge? Yeah. Wow. Well, I can't wait to play more of this game. It was only a couple dollars on Steam, so if you guys want to buy this for yourself, go on a different path than me because you didn't like what I chose. Go ahead and do that. But as for now, thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Kind of surprised about trust. You and 55% of players told Dennis you believed his story. Why wouldn't you believe a dying man's story?